Looking for simple ideas to manage your life and business? You're in the right place. Here you'll find realistic tips and ideas to tame your task list in easy ways. I'm your host, Amy Michaels. Let's get started together with today's episode of the Tame Your Task List podcast. Hi, friend. Today I'm going to be sharing 3 secrets for planning a successful week time and time again, and I can hardly wait to share this with you. I've said it before, and I will probably say it again, but there are a lot of areas of your business to manage, and that's usually not all that you're doing. You're usually managing your home, maybe a family, in addition to church, things you volunteer to do, hobbies. We stay very busy. But if you are like most of us, you know that when we take on too much, it's really easy for us to not even enjoy these wonderful things that we have been gifted. And today we're going to talk about how to plan a basic week around the power of 3. I'm sure that somebody knows the science behind this, but I know that when we are given more than 3 options, most of us get overwhelmed. And if we take on more than 3 projects at one time, we're typically overwhelmed. I started thinking about how this applies to us and having a truly realistic balance to all the different things that we manage. And I realized that the power of 3 works really well here. As we start creating our schedules, we can start thinking of having 3 days a week where we do what Cal Newport calls deep work, where we have like a true focus, task, or goal that is going to get our attention for our work time that day. By the way, if you haven't read Deep Work, I highly recommend it. And while we actually will be working 4 or 5 days a week, those 3 focus days lets us know what our priority is, and you get to choose which 3 days of the week are going to be your focus days. It may be you get to do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday you're wrapping up the week or even working ahead for next week. However, life has a sense of humor, and it seems like unexpected things pop up. And so it's really nice to give ourselves that buffer space or that wiggle room in our schedules for the unexpected, or to give us a little bit of extra time just in case we happen to underestimate how much time it was going to take for us to actually finish a project. So once we have our 3 focus days kind of protected on our schedule, then we're going to use the power of 3 again. And we're going to pick our top 3 priority tasks to do on each of those 3 days. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to stop with those 3, but it means that you can as long as you've mapped out according to your deadlines. And so by using the power of 3 tasks, 3 days a week, you actually could check off 9 tasks every week off your task list. There's something about having that ability to be consistent in doing that feels really good and takes that need to just run ourselves constantly all day, every day, again and again and again. And the other added benefit of using the power of 3 to plan your day and your week is that we give ourselves that wiggle room so that when we do finish early, we can either actually work ahead on day 4 or 5, or we could actually kick back and take some time off or work on a fun project, not something that we actually have to do as a reward, because we're the boss as an entrepreneur. It's up to us to choose what to do with that time. Using the power of 3 really can increase our focus and help us to be consistent in small ways, because it's a realistic way for us to approach our task list and our project list while giving us some of that buffer space or that breathing room just in case life has unexpected twists and turns that inevitably do come up at some time. And before I wrap up, I want to say that you can also use this in your personal life. You can have a separate power of 3 list for your personal task list as well as your business task list. Now it is time for your accountability action step. This is the time in the podcast where we hopefully have inspired you to take a bit of action, because we want you to start using this strategy and this tip right away so that you can have the benefits in your life. For today's accountability action step, I'm going to ask you to set a timer for 5 minutes and pick 3 days next week that you're going to work on 3 tasks a day. You can write it on a piece of paper. You can type it into your phone. You can put it into your calendar. Just let us know in the comments when you have completed this challenge. And for those of you that like paper planning, you'll definitely want to make sure that you've signed up for my email newsletters, because I like to surprise my subscribers with PDFs and printables that they can use in their planning. And I would love to send them to you too. That's all for now, but I've so enjoyed our time together, and I'm looking forward to talking with you again in the next episode. Until then, I'm cheering you on. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Tame Your Taskless podcast. We'd love to encourage you even more to focus your time and energy on what matters most to you in life and business. Connect with us over at tameyourtaskless.com for insights we only share with our email subscribers. We'll see you there.